But with the more modern retailers, we've been noticing kind of a four-step process, and this is something that you can begin to adopt at your own organization or consultancy to begin some more forward-thinking and faster iterating load tests. And so the first is to start with the most critical APIs. And it's not what you think. It's not, oh, well, this API is the front door. It captures all the traffic. We need to make sure it stands up. I mean, that is a good argument, and that is something that you want to make sure stays up. But we'll dig into what I mean by the most critical APIs in just a second. Once you figure out your most critical APIs, you want to begin looking at traffic that go into and out of that service. Into and out of is important because you want to not only be able to drive load into that API, but you also want to be able to stand up the dependencies. Too often I see a lot of these companies spending time just building test automation, writing scripts, huge libraries of scripts. They devote, hundreds of thousands of dollars into doing that. And then after they get, all these test suites ready to go, they realize, well, we don't have enough environments. Like we don't have enough CI environments. We don't have any load testing environments. And not having environments is arguably as bad as not having the tests to run it, because you're still kind of where you are at day one. You don't have any place to execute the tests. The tests aren't running regularly, and you're not verifying, the code changes that you've built. So thinking about the traffic that goes into the API, as well as understanding the dependencies and having a stable, predictable environment in which to run these backends is just as important. So that's step 3. And then step 4 is to actually generate that realistic load using the traffic you captured. And it goes without saying, but the kind of unspoken step 5 here is to make changes and rinse and repeat. So you want to actually generate the load, capture the performance baselines, figure out what sort of tweaks you want to make, and then go through this again, 2, 3, 4, over and over again as you make changes. And the idea is, since you've got an isolated API, you can do this consistently. And the only thing that's really changing is the new code logic and optimizations that you've made to your application.